Hey there, this is Therese Skelly, and I am so excited that you are going to be listening to an episode of the Fiercely Brilliant podcast. Do you like those two words? Fiercely Brilliant. My hypothesis is that you are here for a reason. We all are. Our souls have led us on journeys that have very often taken some twists and turns, and sometimes it's not pretty. Sometimes there's struggle and there's loss and there's challenge, and in the middle of that, there's always a way out. And it's those times that often lead us into our great life and work. So you're going to hear stories in these episodes of myself and other beautiful people that share the journey. They share how they got to the place where they're standing, working in their brilliance, and being the powerful leaders that they are. So stay tuned and enjoy this episode. Hey, this is Therese, and it's another episode of the Fiercely Brilliant podcast, where I am so blessed to bring amazing stories of journeys of people who have gone through things that either you have gone through, or you know somebody who's gone through, or you just need to hear the stories for the inspiration. And I'm so excited to bring Elisa Sterling-Cowan today. Oof, you're going to love this woman. Now, the challenge we had, I said earlier, you're like so fascinating. We should have 17 podcasts on your stories, but we're going to start with one today. So Elisa, it is so fabulous to have you here. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Well, I love that we have connected. This is a social media connection. And I just kind of had this instant, you need to be on my show, woman. And so we've gotten to speak before a little bit, but I want to hear, what do you do today, and what do you love about it? What's your for the profession? How do you serve the world today, and what do you love about it?
Well, how I serve the world today is by holding that positive presence here on this earth, just continuing to expand and grow myself and to share from what I've been through.
Right.
Currently, I'm a coach, a wellness coach. So I'm working on presenting a course coming up that people can get into, but it's all around really expanding the light that we are all here to be.
Right. Yeah. Well, and I know one of your containers is the physical health, but you're also about mindset and emotion and spiritual, so your front door is a health coach, but you're way, way, way bigger than just eat less carbs. You know what I mean? You're very, very holistic.
The reason for that is we're all a whole picture. We are multifaceted, and it's that beauty that is essential to understanding our lives and our humanity, our purpose here. It's really when we see the whole picture of who we are, we can see the whole picture of what it is that we're a part of. So
it just feels yummy. I kind of want to rest in that for a minute. But let's talk about your story. You have a very interesting background in terms of what you have gone through, what your family's gone through. And so when you first shared it with me, my heart hurt. Because I love fierce mamas, and I love women that stand for their children and stand against injustice, right? And so why don't you start with the journey that you went through with your son, and just kind of segue into that and how things turned out?
Well, I guess technically when my youngest was born, we just knew that it was going to be a special.
It'll be a ride.
Well, it died and come back, so I really dedicated my life to living this second chance.
Wait, hold on. Did you say you died and came back?
Yeah, it was a complicated delivery.
I didn't know that part. Oh my gosh. Okay. Wow. Okay.
But he came out, and he was the only blonde child in the ward the whole time we were there. And as you can tell by looking at me, I'm not, by first glance, someone you would think is of mixed heritage, mixed ethnicity, which I am.
Right.
And so is my husband. And so a lot of people were checking their child. Make sure that they had the
wait, what?
Well, so if people are just listening to the audio, give the picturing of the color of your skin and the color of your husband's skin. And
absolutely.
So,
I come from a family that was multi-ethnic. My great-grandfather was a Scottish missionary with green eyes and red hair. And he married, which caused a bit of controversy, the Jamaican woman that he met and fell in love with.
Wow. Okay.
With darker skin. And that's on one side of the family, and then on the other side of the family, there's all that lovely beauty. So for me, how I look is I have a nice, soft, complected, melanated skin.
Yes.
I love celebrating it.
They're gorgeous women.
And combined with a husband who's also multifaceted, but he's got a nice flaming red beard. Draws a lot of attention. And so our child, when he came out, was no surprise to our family, either side. And he was just radiant from the beginning, very full of love and life. And then the attention started. And it was uncomfortable attention because his hair just grew redder and redder as he got older, and people just were in awe and diving in and touching, and it's really awkward when at the same time you don't necessarily look like you're the parent.
Right.
So it was challenging, but at the same time, when he got older, I was like, well, if that's all you need to show up as in this world, as an inspiration to others, to some people would break down in tears. They were so inspired. It was
because he's so unique looking, right? He's so very different looking. Yeah. So okay.
Beautiful. Well, they both are. My older son as well.
Yes. Just different. They just look
just in
different.
case he comes across it. Sounds like I only have one child. So
I hear you.
Yeah. But as school had started, because he's light complected, and his skin is fair and his hair was red, a lot of his peers kind of put claimsies on him, we'll just say. And so it was good in the beginning.
Let's go back to claimsies. What do you mean claimsies?
So by claimsies, that he was like one of them.
Okay.
Per se.
Okay.
And so because he looks similar, a lot of them were from, we'll say, Canadian households, that, it's Ukrainian, and there's a high Ukrainian population around here, actually. Okay.
So he was light enough to fit in with the light skin kids?
Light enough to fit in with the light complected individuals, yes.
Okay.
And so as he grew more, and so did his hair, that started to become a challenge and a point at which he was being kind of made fun of. And so one time he came home and he asked if his hair could be straight like his dad's. And I was like, well, your dad's isn't exactly straight either. So you would actually have to shave your hair off for it to look kind of straight, and that wouldn't help either. So it was about helping him to embrace who he was, because now he publicly, when we go out, we're being celebrated among culture and family groups, right? He was celebrated, but now he's getting adversity experiences based in and around his hair, and then pointing back to his ethnicity. And so as this continued, the years kept going, the kids that he was claiming to be his friends were actually not treating him very well, or others for that matter. it could be based in their family experience. All I know is these sweet little children that I've been watching grow up with my son, our village setting, were now not as friendly and disrespectful as well. It wasn't just to him, it was to me, it was to his brother. There was a lot that was coming out in the languaging. And it started to get serious. So I started getting calls from the school saying that he was causing trouble doing this and causing trouble doing that. And he kept telling me that he wasn't the one that was doing it.
Oh.
And it was like, this is at grade 4 level. These kids have been together for 5 years now. And now we're at a point at which my son isn't as radiant anymore. He's miserable, and he's starting to show behaviors that we don't promote in our home.
Right. Well, he's being bullied, right? So this is his way of handling it, right? Or not, because he can't handle bullying.
That aspect, but when you have, we'll say even family or parents or loved ones who are treating you this way, and you knew them in a space of being love and familiarity and safety and security, then you feel that, hey, well, maybe I need to do this in order to fit in, to better model myself to represent what it is that I love. And I think a lot of us get pulled into that. A lot of us
absolutely peer pressure. You go along.
Let go of our personal radiance in order to step into a model other people are expecting us to be in. And that was what was happening. One time when I went in to go speak with the teacher who had called me to come and talk with her, the kids were actually holding on to him and kicking him in the butt right beside her. And I was like, why did you, what's going on here that you're calling me in to talk about his behavior that is happening right here? And then within a few months, there was an incident where he was apparently not behaving in class, not doing his schoolwork. So he was sent to a homework room. I don't approve of these homework rooms. They're really small and isolated. But they had forgotten about him in there. So from the beginning of the day to the last recess, they had forgotten about him in there. And there was some kind of, it was after Halloween, so it was about this time of year. And there was like one of those little fake blood packs. Playing around with that in there, and it made a bit of a mess. And that's what I had been called into the office for the following day. And to ask, hey, well, why was he in the room?
Right.
How long was he in the room? Why was he by himself for so long? No food the whole day. Like, why was
that's brutal.
And so it was that moment that I realized it wasn't just a bullying situation. He actually also didn't have the administrative support.
Right.
So it was a much bigger picture.
He's more at risk. He's way more at risk now. So
it was much deeper than, even I thought. Because to go into these meetings in the office were futile if they were not willing to stand up and see his side as well as what was being reported of him. So after all that, a few years down the road, it was even more serious. I took him in for mental health assessment. They said that he was high-grade anxiety, PTSD, as well as suicidal tendencies.
And how old was he then?
And that was only 11.
Oh my God.
11, 12. And it was at that point that I'm like, no, we're pulling you. I have, experience teaching. I was in education, so I was like, well, I can do this.
let's do
homeschooling and restore your mental health.
So that's what I want to get to, because you had a radiant child that in essence was broken by the system, largely based,
an environment. Yeah.
Environment, right. Largely based on the color of his skin and the texture of his hair and some variables that had nothing to do with who he was as a soul, right? So as a mama, how the hell did you not kill those children? How did you like the heartbreak of seeing your child be just diminished? Like, I know my son was bullied, and there was a time when a child in his class killed themselves. And I knew we were in trouble when he said, yeah, he killed himself because he was bullied. And I understand that. And I'm like, oh, okay, we're ending it now. So like, it's very severe. It's scary. And so I want to hear how you as a mama handle it, but more certainly, how did you build him up? Because this child could have been damaged forever. And I know he's not now, right?
Well, and that's the part. It's an ongoing process. It's not done.
Yeah.
He does have his episodes.
Mm-hmm.
He's much better than he was before.
Good.
He still can't fully remember.
Wow.
His brother, at least, they were in the same school.
Mm-hmm.
So his brother was at least able to fill in a lot of the gaps.
Oh, okay.
I was also a volunteer at the school while working part-time, but I was on almost all the field trips.
Mm-hmm.
So I was able to see the situations, and a lot of those situations, he's forgotten. He can't fully remember.
Oh, that's probably protection, right?
Yeah, so at some point in his character, in his journey, his healing journey, we all have a healing journey to go through. I think it really helps us to grow and expand ourselves and to really dive deeper into who we are. But for him at this point, he's still growing through that. He doesn't have to deal with them physically. Doing online schooling, thanks to the Rona.
Yes.
The Rona experience. But those children I watched to help, like, I was the main volunteer in the field trips that got to look after these children. They were often in my group. So, because I was the one best able to handle them. And their characters were not, it was kind of in their nature to go in that direction. And sometimes it's good to know and observe if your child is kind of a little, bugger. It's a nice way I'm going to put it.
You are so nice. You're way kinder than I am. Well,
I know my oldest, I had to challenge. I was like, hey, you're getting to be a little bugger. You want to watch that?
Stop it. How do you handle the mixed race issue? Because the white kids claimed him, but then his hair got like, well, so you're sort of not like us, but you might not be dark enough for the darker kids. Like how do you navigate that with him? Because that's unchangeable, right?
Yeah. And for our family, because we come from multi-ethnic background, I guess part of the aspect as well is that I celebrate my Scottish great-grandfather.
Good.
Because of the love that he chose to instill into his children.
Beautiful.
And my grandfather shared the pride and joy and celebration that he received from his dad with me. And he celebrated me and said, oh, my dad would be so proud to have you as a granddaughter. And so it's just those things where it's like, you don't have to choose. There's no choosing.
Nice.
All these parts help to make me who it is I am and how it is that I look. And how it is that I get to express into the world and be grateful for. I see myself as a global woman. I am a global woman.
Yes.
And my children get to be that extension of me. It wouldn't have mattered if they also, if I had a dark-skinned partner, they would still have that multi-ethnicity.
Right.
And so I think in our household, we celebrate the person, the human, the character, the nature.
Yeah.
Because in the end, yes, everyone's getting to see this, or for those that get to see the video, or people that see me on the street, they get to see what I look like. I don't. I get to see myself in a mirror, put it all together, and then I'm out in the day. And mainly, this is what I see, right? Or this side, and my legs, and that's my experience for the rest of the day. And so in the end, is that the part that matters, or is it the part that's in our head that we spend the most time with? That's the most consideration, the conversations. Someone's voice is going to sit with you a lot longer than what they look like. Somebody's character and how they treat you is going to sit with you a lot longer. Right?
That can be a hard lesson, though, for a young man trying to find, how do I fit in? Who am I? Even if there's not mixed race. I mean, that's 11, 12, 13-year-old children, that's a really difficult time, just their whole identity. Who do I gravitate to? What am I going to be? So I love that you're focused so much on character and the ancestry and what you come from and who you're an extension of. I think that's really grounding for a child.
And I think the key part in it is because in my family, we embraced how anybody looked.
Yeah, nice.
I have cousins who are blue-eyed, blonde hair, and fair skin, and their parents look just like me.
Wow.
So this
is not uncommon for you.
It was expected.
Right.
But for example, on the other side of the coin, there's a lot of people that, ooh, wow, I came out light-skinned and blue-eyed and blonde hair, and they make that work in a privileged sense.
Exactly.
They put off their ancestry, put off their family, and pass to avoid oppression, to live an easier life in our society. And I think a lot of that is what's caused a lot of these, we'll say, racial problems that we experience now. Not to there's so much gifts to receive from our family and our heritage. And sometimes our families aren't all that. And maybe we do want to get rid of them or, deny that they exist. But it doesn't mean that we have to deny who we are to do that.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Right? So, I'm all about embracing who it is you are designed to be. Yeah.
So today with your son, a number of years later, what do you see possible? Because my God, if he chose to come in to a mother who had died upon his birth, he clearly has some soul things he's working through, right? He is like one of those, oh hell, here you are, special child, right? And then the bullying and the challenges. And so what do you, where is he today? I know you said he's doing better and stuff like that, but do you see, as a result of the trauma he went through, do you see good things coming for him or through him as a result of going that?
His compassion is coming back.
Oh, beautiful. Beautiful.
His playfulness, his mischievousness, and then with it, a lot of hard-edged lessons, a lot of character things he's still working through. And he has an awareness that those are not necessarily the traits and character that he wants to live by. So he works on that, and with the 4-pillar mindset system that I been and certified in, we because I also called in my mentor to help, and she offered to help coach him in his experience. So I'm forever grateful to her for that. So it was really great that she offered that. And he takes that personally. So to take his own mindset journey personal and not to have it out on somebody else, but to be in it for yourself. I think that's what really helps him to keep moving forward.
That's awesome. And you have gone through hell and back. This is a very difficult journey. And I just see you growing and growing and growing. And so we need to wrap up. And I know people are going, wow, how do I get a hold of this woman? What does she have? Like, so tell us your contact information and if you have a free gift for anybody.
Well, I'd love to offer discovery calls, or if there's anyone that feels they have something that they want to share and to really get support with, or just another set of eyes on, I'm offering a 30-minute call with me. And I'm keeping it nice and simple, old school, with social media, old school, right?
Yeah.
But you can contact me on Facebook, Instagram. I'm on Twitter as well. You look up either Elisa Sterling-Cowan or Elisa SC, you'll be able to find me.
Perfect.
Yeah. Did I say Instagram? Thank
you. And all the contact information is going to be in the show notes. So wherever you're watching this.
As well, there'll be an email that you can email me directly as well.
Perfect.
And yeah, I'd look forward to hearing from you.
So, we talked earlier, and this kind of the theme is like, don't give up on yourself. And you died and then you came back, so you didn't give up there. And your son could have given up on himself. He could have gone, in a very different path. I know as a mama, you can never give up. But just kind of tune into that. Is there any wisdom or anything else you want to say to encourage people, and how do you not give up on yourself, or just whatever that is for you?
I truly believe that every ounce of energy that was intended for your creation is what's helping to keep this big, beautiful picture called life that we're all living. It's a part of what helps us all to go. We're all interconnected. And I believe that everyone has the gift, or has a gift, to bring, to contribute to the lives of those around them, and to enjoy that fullness for themselves. So I really believe if people can really step in and just own that fullness, that wholeness of who they are, and radiate that to everybody else, we would all choose to do the same. And I believe everyone can inspire the next person around them in a positive way. Not that it's very possible the other direction, as we discussed, but I think we all have that beautiful potential to inspire the forthcoming of beauty into this life that we live.
I really appreciate so much this show is actually about self-acceptance, right? Like, I love how you embrace the Scottish, the blue eyes, and and you embrace all the parts of you, just as as life has invited your son to embrace all the parts of him. And so it's really about that journey, and you are doing it exquisitely. So thank you for sharing. This was a hard thing to walk through, I can imagine, as a mama. And it was a journey, and I love to see you radiating on social media. So thank you for sharing. I really appreciate that. And gang, reach out if you are inspired by this. If you have stories that you want to share with Elisa or myself, just shoot us a message, and peace and blessings. Take care now. Bye.
Hey, I really appreciate you listening to that last episode. And I would love to get to know you a little bit more and to get to connect with you on a deeper level. And here's what I suggest. I've got a Facebook group that corresponds with the content of these podcasts. It's called Fiercely Brilliant Women in Business with Therese Skelly. So if you just search Facebook, Fiercely Brilliant with Therese Skelly, you'll find the group. It's a really nice group. It's a small group, and I'm super active in it. Each week, we have a lot of supportive conversations. I share a lot of resources. I do a lot of coaching on the spot, and I would love to have you join me there. So if you like the vibe of this podcast and you want to hang out with a pretty darn cool community of women, join us at Fiercely Brilliant on Facebook with Therese Skelly. Alrighty, peace and blessings, and I hope to see you in the group. Bye now.